What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to do the Citadelle de Morts Easter egg in the fastest and easiest way possible. The first thing is I would recommend you do it in a party of 4 if you're doing it for the first time. If you need some squad mates, be sure to use the comment section or join my Discord. There's always people looking to play. And the reason why I say that is because you have to upgrade 4 different swords, do their incantations, and it could get a little bit hectic if you're doing it alone. I would recommend you split it into 4 so each person will grab a sword, master, and learn what they need to do for that sword, complete everything, and I promise you the Easter egg will be a lot easier to do. The very first thing that you need to do is activate Pack-a-Punch. It's very straightforward because you just have to follow the cue that they give you on the map to activate it. Once you do, you'll go back, and in the quick revive room there will be a wooden door closed. You'll be able to interact with it. If it doesn't let you interact, be sure to wait for the character's dialogue to finish. You won't be able to grab any of the artifacts or the items that you need until you speak with him, and that is step 1 complete. The second step is to grab the swords. The only way that you can do that is you have to wait until round 10. There will be a special zombie that will spawn in, which is like a bucket-headed armored zombie. This is exactly what they will look like. Usually 1 to 2 will spawn in per round, and what you want to do is eliminate them. As soon as you do, they will drop a stamp, and you will need to pick this up in order to get the sword. Once you have that, head into the dining room, which is like the center room where there's a bunch of statues. Each statue will have a different icon. If you see the one that looks like a deer with antlers, that is going to be for the storm sword. The one to the right with the raven on the shoulder, that is going to be the void or the darkness sword. Across, the one with the lion on the chest, that will be the light sword. And then the last one with the dragon symbol is going to be the flame sword, so you know exactly what you're picking up before you grab it. So now what you want to do is upgrade each of these swords. The very first one I want to go over is going to be the fire sword. So upon grabbing the dragon symbol, what you want to do is take it into the juggernaut room. In there, you will be able to go upstairs. There will be an altar which looks like a dragon. You'll be able to interact with it. What will happen is you will place the sword inside, and once you do, a new trial will begin. And this is what you have to do. You have to find 3 torches around the map. They spawn in the same exact spot every single game, so just follow where I'm going here in the clip. The first one is pretty much you just run back towards the spawn, and when you're running there, you'll end up seeing it. You want to interact with it, grab it, and as soon as you grab it, this will actually speed you up a little bit, but at the same time, you will start losing a lot of HP, and you want to make it back to the altar and interact with that. Now, in order to do so you don't fully get eliminated, is there will be zombies that spawn in with purple eyes. You want to punch them and melee them. That will actually send your health right back to full HP and heal you, and just make your way back. That is the first location. The second one is I would recommend you go towards the left side where the speed cola is. Work your way down all the way to the very back of the spawn where you start. There will be another one there. You want to go ahead, grab that, do the same exact thing where you work your way back to that altar and then interact with it again. And then once you finally get back, there will be a third one. This one is going to be actually at the very top, so you want to head on over to where the cannon is located. This is the easiest one because it's right there. You want to grab it and then make your way back and then interact with it. Upon doing so, the dragon will charge up the sword, and you have now upgraded it. Now, after doing that, I would also recommend that you do the fire incantation, and this one's also very straightforward. So once you have the sword in your hands, you want to make your way back up to the same exact spot you were just at, where you were by the cannon. Over there, when you turn around and face the castle, there will be 3 different torches that you want to light up. You can actually light them up either with the sword's charged up power attack, which is the same button that you use to use your field upgrade, or you can use a thermal. You can also use a Molotov, anything that causes fire, and you want to start lighting these up. The very first one is on the left side of the castle. As you see here, I just went ahead and used the charged up attack. If you landed the shot and did it correctly, it will start shooting fireballs into the air, and then they will just start landing, dealing some damage to the zombies. Then you can work your way towards the second one. That one's going to be in the direct center at the top of the castle. This one is probably the hardest one to land a hit on. Just make sure you line it up directly at it. Once again, you can also use a thermal or a Molotov. It doesn't have to be the sword, but after landing that, it should also fire balls into the air. And now you can go on to the third one. As you see here on screen, it's on the very right side of the castle. It's going to be right behind the wall. I charged up my attack once again, and then I hit it. If you hit it correctly, it will also do the same exact animation effect, but this time, once you have all 3 of them, they will end up shooting a ball in unison, and that one will land somewhere at the top of the castle, spawning in the brand new boss. And what you want to do is eliminate the boss. You can use any weapon that you want, just eliminate him. He will drop a golden amulet called Ra's Ankh or something something like that. Sorry if I said that wrong. And what you want to do is go ahead, grab that, and then make your way down to the very bottom of the castle. Make your way towards the right. A small rune circle thing will spawn in, and what you want to do is interact with it. It will actually hand the raw thing over, and it will spawn in some zombies. This is like the little sacrifice part. So basically zombies will spawn in. You need to eliminate them. You can use whatever weapon that you want. It will start collecting souls, and once you do it correctly, it will end the ritual. All the zombies in the area will get eliminated, and then a chest will spawn in. Now this is the incantation. The only way you can open this chest is you have to melee it with the correct elemental weapon, and because we did the fire incantation, you have to knife it with the fire one, and then that will open it up, and then you can go ahead and grab it. The next sword is going to be the lightning one. This one is very straightforward to do. All you have to do is after you grab the sword, you want to go ahead and collect 3 different lightning rods that are available throughout the map. One of the locations is going to be right by Deathshot Daiquiri. To the left of it, it will just be sitting there wedged in a corner between some boxes. Very easy to spot. Just interact with it and grab it. The next one is you're going to need dead wire ammo mod on whatever weapon. So go ahead and craft that. I use the center of the castle as you see here from the footage. You go ahead and you work your way towards the speed cola, which is the left side of the castle, and there will be an antenna straight in the air. You want to follow it down. There will be a electric outlet box. You want to go ahead and shoot it. As soon as you do, it will zap the antenna and then spawn in a lightning rod from the top that will fall. Go ahead and grab that. That's the second one. The third one, you want to make your way towards the quick revive room. What will happen is as soon as you end up grabbing the sword, the next time anyone enters this dungeon area where the quick revive is, it will spawn an armored zombie. Once you eliminate it, it will go ahead and drop the lightning rod. The good news is anyone on your team can go ahead and grab that, and that is now the third part. Once you have all 3 of these, you want to make your way towards the top of the castle near the elemental pop, and there will be a little vase on the right hand side. You interact with it, that will actually insert all of them, and then it will create a thundercloud, and this will start the ritual. You'll want to have the sword in your hand and out, and just stand around the area. Zombies will start spawning in, eliminate them, and what will occasionally happen is a lightning bolt will hit you and charge up your sword, making it a blue lit up sword. And as soon as that happens, you want to go up to the vase and then melee it. You'll want to repeat this process around 3 times. Once the vase is fully charged up, you will want to go ahead and interact with it. This will insert the sword there. It will charge up the sword, and then you'll be able to grab it, and you have now upgraded the lightning sword. The incantation for this one is very simple. What you want to do is go back to the barn room where it was the Deathshot Daiquiri where you grabbed the very first part. Inside there will be a horseshoe on the wall. As you see here, what you want to do is just shoot it with any weapon. It's going to fall on the floor. Go ahead and grab it. Now work your way up towards the top of the castle where you are able to use the launcher. You want to go ahead and launch yourself, and this is going to send you towards the spawn. While you're in midair, that's how you know you're doing it correctly. As soon as you land, you want to turn around and look up at the sky. Either on the left or the right side, a thundercloud will spawn in. The spawns are random every single time. As soon as that pops up, you want to head on over. Directly under it, there will be a horseshoe which will be lit up. Grab it and make your way back to the spawn where you originally started. Follow where I'm at here in the gameplay. On the right hand side, there will be a glyph that will randomly pop up when you get close to it. When it pops up, interact with it. This will actually put the horseshoe on there, and then it will spawn in some zombies. You want to eliminate them, and this will do like a sacrifice ritual where all the souls will be sucked up by this, and then once you get enough, it will eliminate all the zombies in the area, and there will be a chest that you'll be able to use, and the only way to open this chest is to knife it with the thunder sword. The next sword that we have is going to be the light sword. So once you go up to it and grab it, 4 parasites are going to spawn in, and they're going to be glowing. What you want to do is make sure you do not eliminate them. Tell your squad mates not to eliminate them. You want to work your way towards the speed cola, which is the left side of the castle. Once you get close enough, what you're going to want to do is knife one of these parasites with the melee weapon. This will make your sword glow a golden light. Run down, and there will be a door with the same exact marking of the lion. You want to melee that, and then it will smack a glyph onto the wall. Then you go back, eliminate another parasite. Repeat this process. You have to do it a total of 4 times. Every single time there will be a glyph. Once all 4 appear, you can interact with the door. It will spawn you inside the room, and you'll be able to work your way downstairs. Interact with the altar. It will take your sword, and what will happen is there will be 4 different signs that will pop up at the bottom. I believe the order doesn't change for these. Every single order you see, so for example, the first symbol, you want to go ahead and match that. It's going to start shooting some symbols into the air. You want to find it's going to stick to the walls, whether it's the right, left side, or back. My first first symbol was a circle with another circle in the middle, so I found that and then I went ahead and shot it. If you did it correctly, it will go ahead and light up the next symbol and then do the same effect again. The second one for me was a snowflake. I went ahead, looked for that, shot it, and then now I was on to the third one. And just keep repeating this process until you fully complete it, and once you do, it will give you the fully charged up light sword. The incantation for this one is very simple. What you want to do is work your way back to the dining hall where you got the sword originally, and there will be a light that will pop up at the very center at the top. What you want to do is shoot it with a regular weapon. This will start sending a laser light. It'll be a light color see-through, and you want to shoot it up until it becomes a solid laser. And the whole point of this is to pretty much bounce these lights off of each other, so wherever the laser ends up pointing, that's the next one that you want to go ahead and look at and then shoot and then set that one up. The spawns don't change, so it's going to look exactly the same as it does with mine. And then you're going to want to keep repeating this process. There's like 3 or 4 of them that you want to consistently do. It's going to point the light towards the room, and the whole goal is to try and set it up towards a desk. And on the desk, there's a purple crystal that you're supposed to point this light at. So after you follow all these steps and you do it and you point it in this exact direction, it will charge up this crystal for a couple of seconds, and then you can go ahead and interact with it and grab it. Walk right out of the room on the right hand side. There will be a yellow glyph that will spawn in. You want to go ahead and interact with it. This will actually put up the crystal, and then it will start one of these sacrifice rituals where zombies will spawn in. You want to go ahead and eliminate the zombies with any weapon that you want. It will collect all of their souls, and upon collecting enough souls, it will end up causing the explosion. All the zombies will get eliminated, and then a chest will spawn in. And the way to open this chest is you'll have to go ahead and knife it with the light melee weapon, and that'll give you the incantation. Now the next sword that we have, this one is going to be the darkness or the raven sword. After grabbing the sword, what you want to do is work your way into this room, and within it you have to look at every single shelf closely. There will be a item that you're looking for. Now it can actually be one of 5 things. Every game it will be a different item and it'll spawn in somewhere else, but it will always be within this room. So as long as you're in here, you will find it. You can either find it on the shelf or on one of the tables. I know there's a lot of different like skeletons and bones that are in here, but the major difference is that they're always on some sort of like a mini pedestal, and there's some text written at the bottom. So here's some photos of the ones that I've been able to see and where the spawn locations for them are. Once you go ahead and find this, you now want to work your way towards the bar and then go downstairs. Once you get there, there's going to be some sort of a glyph on the wall that you'll be able to interact with, and when you do, it'll place the fossil that you ended up collecting from the room that we were just looking for. Now the goal is to match the 2 bottom symbols. If you see the green arrow down here, you want to match the symbol at the top, which is going to be either a triangle facing up, down, or it's going to have a dash on it. And then there's also the zodiac symbols right under it, and you want to be sure to match both of these. And then you move them by using the left bumper for the top and then the right bumper for the bottom. Now credit to Mr. Raffle Waffle, these are the different symbols that you'll have to use. So if you end up getting the horn, copy the same exact symbol for the horn. If you end up getting the scorpion, follow the same exact one for the scorpion. You end up getting any of the others, so just check out what skeleton or bones you ended up picking up and then copy that same exact symbol at the very bottom, and then you should be good to go. After doing it correctly, there will be some purple balls that will spawn in and start floating and following you. What you want to do is gravitate them towards the void on the floor, and they're trying to follow and damage you, but if you go ahead and bring them there, they'll end up getting sucked in, and then it usually takes around 3 of them, and then the void will close. Another ball will spawn in and it'll go towards the top of the stairs, and then it'll spawn in a different one, and then you'll have to repeat this process once again, let them go through, and then I believe it does it again for a 3rd time. It'll drop in another 3, and then once you complete it, it'll end up charging that up, taking it back to the scripture thing that you were messing around with, and then you'll be able to interact with that, and then now you'll be able to grab your upgraded void sword. To do the incantation for this one, you want to work your way towards the pack-a-punch room. Towards the back, there will be the circular thing that you can go ahead and interact with. You'll pay some money and it'll send you sliding, and you want to follow that, go in, make sure you have a weapon that you can shoot before entering, and there will be a raven on the right side that will be sitting on a rock, and shoot that raven. It will end up flying, and as it flies away, shoot at it again and try to eliminate it. If you do it correctly, it will actually drop something purple. Run towards the purple item that it dropped. When you see it, it's actually the raven's talon. Go ahead and pick that up. You now want to make your way towards the very very bottom of the inside of the castle. The room that you're trying to find here is the one that has like a pool or just a pool of water towards the middle of it. Once you're in that room, in the same exact spot towards the right hand side, a golden glyph will spawn in. You want to go ahead and interact with it. You'll hand over the Raven's Talon, and then it will spawn in some zombies. Go ahead, eliminate them. This is like the sacrifice ritual, and then it will collect the souls. Once it collects enough souls, the zombies will end up disappearing, and it will end up granting you a chest. The only way you can open this chest is to knife it with the Void Sword, and that will open up the Incantation. Now you have upgraded all the swords and the Incantation, so what you want to do now is go ahead, grab Melee Macchiato, and work your way back to the same room where we did the Raven's Incantation, where there was the pool. There will be a wall with some cracks in it. In the background, you can see a little bit of blue. You will need to use the Melee Macchiato to hit the wall. This will not work using the swords, so have your hand out when you do it, or a weapon at least, and then melee, and then it should crack it, and there will be a bunch of glyphs that will end up popping up on the wall. Now go back to the bar towards the very beginning of the spawn. Once you walk inside, there will be 6 different numbered bottles that you want to interact with. Make sure you do this in order. They will be in Roman numeral. So the very first line, that's going to be 1. Usually it's going to be on the actual bar stand. What I did here is I interacted with it. It gave me a symbol. You just snap a photo of it. So the first one, I got the symbol. Then you want to look for the second one. Sometimes there's one off directly to the right. The spawns for where they're at don't change, only the number order does. But once you find the second one, you want to go ahead and interact with it, get the symbol for it, and then take a photo of it. The third one for me was right here. I ended up interacting, getting the symbol. I snapped the photo on my phone for this one. Then I worked my way to the 4th one. Then I did the 5th one. And then finally I did the 6th one. Now that you have all 6 of these symbols and you took photos of them in the proper order, you want to go back to the same exact spot where you found those glyph symbols on the wall. So down in the very bottom by the pool area, you will now want to input these. So basically just shoot them in the same exact order that the bottles gave you. So in my case, I went ahead and did that. Now they will teleport and randomly swap spots. So give it a second for them to settle and then shoot them. And then once you do all 6 of them, it will end up popping up with this. If you don't get it right, don't worry. You can actually redo this as many times as you want up until you get it correct. But it will actually spawn in a random book. Now, this book is missing some pages. Now, to get these pages, you will need to go to the couch room. In this room and surrounding it, there will be 4 different pages that will have red symbols glowing on them that you want to go ahead and collect. Usually, the first spot that I check is the couch. I saw that there was one there, went ahead and grabbed it. There will always usually be 2 of them within the room and then 2 of them in the outer area of the room, so like in the little hallways right next to them. They don't go very far away from each other, so you want to go slowly through them and navigate and make sure that you look at every single nook and cranny. I went ahead and did the inside first, and then I worked my way and checked the outer areas. I saw that they were sitting on the ledges. Go ahead and grab that one and then follow through and grab the next one. Once you have grabbed all 4 of them, you want to go back to that same room where that book was spawned in. So at the very bottom, go ahead and interact with it. It will put in these missing pages and it will give you a particular order. Now, these symbols are actually going to be the trap symbols that you may have been seeing throughout the map where there's like red light coming in from the floor. They're going to have different symbols of them. You want to match the symbols in the same order that the book is. So the top left is the very first one. You want to find that trap. It's going to be on the floor around the castle area. You interact with it, pay the money. Zombies don't usually spawn in, so make sure there are some zombies available for you. Go ahead and eliminate them, and then as it gathers souls, it will end up completing. If you did it correctly and you did the actual symbol in order, go back to the book. It will no longer be glowing for the symbol that you just did, and then you can work your way up towards the second one. If you get it wrong, don't worry, nothing happens. You'll just have to go and find the correct one and do it until all of them stop glowing, and then that means you have completed all 4 of them. Now, the 4th one that you end up completing, it will spawn in a small red ball that will start floating, and you want to go ahead and follow it. It will take you towards the underground area, and then there will be a blank wall. It will go ahead and make an animation, and there will be a new symbol that will pop up on the wall showcasing all 4 logos of the sword. The order of these will change every single time. You want to start off with the one at the very top. That's the first one you have to do. Then the second one is going to be the one towards the right, and then you work your way clockwise. The third one will be the one at the very bottom, and then the left one will be the last one. Now, what you want to do in my case, because the Void Sword was the very first one we had to do, and it was at the top. That was for me. You want to go ahead and go back to the sword for the Raven, so where you originally picked up the sword. Once you're right in front of it, you want to use the incantation, which is going to be the left bumper. If you do it correctly, the statue will begin to glow, and as soon as it does that, you want to go ahead and inspect the melee weapon, and as soon as you complete the inspect for that, he will end up reanimating and saluting you, and that will indicate that you have done the very first weapon. You want to go ahead and do the same exact thing for the rest of the swords, so hit it with the incantation, then do the inspect right after, and the statue will also begin to glow gold, indicating that that step has been completed. Once all 4 steps have been done, there will be 4 light beams that will spawn in towards the very center animate, and there will be a light orb that will spawn in the direct middle. Grab that, and now we can begin the final step. Using the light orb, you will now have to go and generate energy for it. So the very first one you have to do is light. All you got to do is work your way upstairs in the same dining area that you were just at. Whoever has the light sword, make sure they work their way up there and then interact with it, and then start the elemental challenge. As soon as you do that, a bunch of like blue or greenish orbs will spawn in. In this stage, you do not have to kill zombies. Whoever has the light orb simply has to just run and grab each and every single one of these. They will continuously keep spawning in and despawning every couple of seconds, so you want to move as quick as you can, just trying to reach and touch every single one of them. Whenever you do that, the orb will start sucking in souls, and basically you just got to keep doing that to fill it up, and then as soon as it's done, it will give you a notification letting you know that it has been completed. This could take a couple of tries. You don't have to eliminate zombies, you just got to be very quick doing it. Even if you fail, you can always restart the elemental challenge, so as long as you just try and do it as fast as possible and then you get it completed, that's the first one. The next one that we have is going to be for the fire. Now in my case, I wasn't able to do it because one of my friends had the fire sword, but whoever has the fire sword needs to go to the area where we did the incantation towards the front of the castle. There will be an area where you interact with the orb there, and then whoever has the fire sword will start the elemental challenge. In this one, you'll actually have to go ahead and eliminate the zombies, so every single knife with the elemental weapon will send a soul towards that, and it will start to collect them. I would recommend you also use your charge attacks, because some of the other ones, I don't know if they're glitched or not, but they only collect souls when you use the ultimate power up move for the sword. So once you complete that, you will be done with the fire one. You now have to do the same exact thing with the thunder one, and the location for this one is going to be where you did the incantation for it. So going back to the spawn to the right side of it, there will be like this black slot that you can interact with. Go ahead and put the orb there, will spawn in some zombies. Repeat that process once again. In my case, I had a teammate who was doing that one, so I didn't get footage of that, but it's the same exact process. And you want to go ahead and use your lightning ability, because apparently only the lightning ability, after it's fully charged, will work towards these souls. And then the last one is going to be for the void. Work your way to the very bottom of the castle, right next to the incantation. You'll interact with it, same exact thing here once again. The only way that this one will work is that if you charge it up and then you do the special hit. And I would also recommend that you do it maybe a couple feet away, not too close to the orb, because for some reason I noticed if you get way too close to it, it doesn't suck up the souls. So give it a little bit of space and then it should work out. You'll see the souls moving towards it if you are doing it correctly. Now once you've charged every single one of them and have completed it, you can now go ahead and go back towards the original symbol that appeared that we saw with the incantations. And then in this wall area, you'll be able to insert the orb, and this will spawn a secret room in which you can walk in. After you interact with the secret room, all the zombies in the area will be cleared away. There will be a little dialogue that I'll go ahead and play through. I won't spoil it for you guys. I'll go ahead and skip that. There is going to be a guardian key that you can go ahead and grab. And as soon as you grab that, you have now pretty much completed the entire Easter egg. All that is left now is to prepare for the boss fight. So preparing for the boss fight, very straightforward. Like every other boss fight, get all of your perks, get tier 3 shield and armor. Make sure you're sufficient on ammo, triple pack-a-punch, and your weapons deal decent amount of damage because he has a lot of HP. If you have mutant injections, self-revives, these are also very helpful and useful as well. Once you are fully prepared for the boss fight, in order to begin it, you go back to the spawn. There will be a massive statue right in front of it. You'll interact with it, and this will cue a vote if you want to jump into the boss fight or not. If everyone votes yes, you will be teleported into it and you can begin. The biggest thing that I can give you guys in terms of tips is if you have someone who is parrying the actual boss, this will help you out a lot. So what I did is I went right in front of him. What he'll do is he'll do like this leg stomp kick, and as soon as you pull out the guard button, which is the left bumper, that will do a guard with the sword. Although it's useless against the zombies, it's very helpful against the boss. It will actually fully block his kick if you time it correctly. It will deal no damage, and basically he'll try to do it again to you if you're close enough. You keep repeating this process. He's going to focus on you and keep trying to do it to you while your teammates are keeping their distance away and then just hitting him and pretty much dealing damage to him. So the longer you can stall for them without taking any damage, the longer your teammates won't have to use their gobble gums, use their perks, or get knocked and things like that. So it'll make it very easy for you guys to go through it. But remember, because this is a boss, it will take a lot of time to actually eliminate his health because it's just massive. I used the pistols. They still weren't really dealing that much damage. He does have a lot of armor when you're fighting him, and as you work your way through and deal damage to the armor, you break it off. There will be areas that will be exposed, such as like the shoulder, the Achilles, the leg. Those areas are going to be glowing. Those will deal a lot of damage, but they don't last long, and you got to be very accurate when you're shooting at those because he is moving a lot. And then once again, if you run out of ammo, to be useful, just go ahead, stand in front of him and do that parry method. Make sure your friends stay away or else he'll end up locking onto someone else. But it's definitely slow and steady. It may take you a couple of tries to beat him, but this is the way that I have found to be the best way to beat this boss. But that's all that got for you guys. I hope you guys found this guide helpful. If you guys have any comments or questions, be sure to let me know. I'll try to answer as much as possible. Also, join the Discord if you want people to play with. But thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Citadelle, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again. Peace.